So, go on.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, LightSpeed Quiz. Go on.
Pastimes incorporating sport and games. Chris Curtis specifically requested we don't have a question about this, so we've got one. So question 1. Northampton Saints have appeared twice in the final of the European Champions Cup, losing the final in 2011 and in 2000 winning the title by beating who 9-8? That's Brendan.
Saracens?
No. Steve?
Toulouse.
No. Bean?
Munster?
It is Munster. Yeah. You are next. Question 2. Awarded annually, for which event is the Peter Pan Cup presented?
I've heard this before. Polo.
No. It's Bean.
Trampolining?
No. Simon?
Flying.
No. Michael?
Who is the youngest?
I didn't even hear that, but I think it's right. Vince?
Archery.
No. Brendan?
Fencing?
No. It's an event, but no.
Go on.
Nobody else? Okay, it's the Christmas Day swim in the Serpentine. Question 3. This football club had previously escaped relegation on several occasions. 2007, when Farnborough were liquidated and 2 other clubs, Hayes and Yeading, merged. Again in 2008, when Cambridge City failed a ground inspection. Again in 2010, when Salisbury were demoted 2 leagues as they couldn't pay their creditors. Founded in 1887, which non-league English football club were relegated for the first time in their history this year?
Yeovil.
No. Steve?
Plymouth are still there, aren't they?
No.
They've struggled for a few years.
Michael?
Kettering?
No. Bean?
Cushion and Downs?
No. We'll go for Northamptonshire ones. Lee?
No, I'm going to say Russian and Downs.
No. It's not Northamptonshire, if that helps. Vince?
Havington Waterlooville.
No. Simon?
Oh, I was going to go for that. Maidstone.
No. Brendan?
Cambridge United?
No.
Ashton would get this.
All done?
Yeah.
Is it Lincoln?
No. Western Superman. First time ever been relegated. So question 4. I want the name of the sport here. The trophy for this sport was commissioned in 1909. It's made of sterling silver and stands 13 inches tall. Its original base was made of wood with silver shields listing each championship year, and winning teams, players and executives are engraved. The current design of the base was introduced in 1987. 33 inches high, made of black lacquered aluminium. It's been broken on several occasions, stolen twice, held for ransom and survived a 1947 fire. It ran out of room for new additions in 2012, resulting in the...
Ice Hockey Stanley Cup?
No,
Oof.
sadly not.
Yeah, again, same thoughts.
It ran out of room for new additions in 2012, resulting in the base having to be redesigned. In which sport is the Grey Cup awarded? So that's Dave.
Canadian football.
Canadian football, yeah.
Red Tooth Genius.
Question 5. If, like me, you'd looked up the Wikipedia entry of this character a couple of weeks ago, it would have stated on the site that he is also currently the manager of the English Premier League club Newcastle United. However, in reality, the character debuted in the WWF in 1992 and has been portrayed by many wrestlers both in the WWF and now WWE. That's been
Doink the Clown?
Doink the Clown. Yeah. Unlike the Newcastle manager, sacked for drug offences. Yeah.
Correct quiz.
Have a celebratory drink, why don't you? Always the thing to do.
Question 6. There are only 5 sports that are featured in every Olympic Games. Athletics, swimming, gymnastics, cycling, which other?
Fencing.
Is fencing? Yeah.
Red Tooth Genius.
Question 7. This man grew up in Corby and his mother often kisses me when she meets me, but unlike me, he's a classically trained pianist, plays the cornet, has a degree in economics and a master's in banking and finance.
Torsland?
No, sorry.
Good
Good knowledge, but not.
Good answer for you.
Yeah. He started training at Corby Athletics Club, where he began his career as a high jumper and decathlete, but a shoulder injury in 2009 forced him to concentrate solely on another discipline. He's featured on both A Question of Sport and Gladiators, and his performance at the World Championship Trials in 2009 placed him number 5 in the all-time British list, followed up by a silver medal at the 2010 Commonwealth Games. Who is this British hurdler? Bean?
Cravats.
No. Steve?
Fifth.
No. Lee?
No, sorry.
No. Dave?
Jarrett.
No. Simon?
Jackson.
No.
No.
Vince?
Johnson.
No.
Johnson.
No. Is that it? Yeah. that's-
Turner.
No.
No.
Will Sharma.
Ah.
He was the announcer on Gladiators. Was he a voiceover or something?
I was all over Dwayne and Davey on these.
Question 8. At which ground did both John Beattie score for Scotland in March 1987 and his daughter Jennifer score for Scotland in June 19? Steve?
Hampton Park.
No. Brendan?
Celtic Park.
No. Dean?
Wembley.
No. Lee?
The list.
Park of France.
Parc de France?
Oh,
That's it. That's a friendship.
Yeah. Rugby and Women's Football World Cup. Yeah. What was introduced by businessman Elijah Bond as a parlour game in 1890? Production was taken over by one of his employees, William Fold, through the Kennard Novelty Company, who claimed he'd invented it. Enjoyed it heyday from the 1920s onwards. The family continued to run the business until 1966 when they sold it to Parker Brothers, now owned by Hasbro. In 1967, it even outsold long-term favourite Monopoly with 2 million units sold. However, in 1973, sales dramatically dipped almost overnight as it took on a more sinister reputation after appearing in a scene from a horror film that year, loosely inspired by true. Simon?
Weirdo.
No.
I'm afraid, 7.
No.
Brendan?
Ouija board.
Ouija board? Yeah. In The Exorcist.
I just can't get over how hot you are.
Question 11. In golf, first left-hander to win a golf in major was Bob Charles with the 1963 British Open. On which course? That's Steve.
Lytham.
Correct. It's Dave just behind.
Jolly good.
Question 12. Tennis. Of the 28 Davis Cups played between 1946 and 1973, only 2 countries, Australia and the US, were winners of the trophy. The run was broken in 1974 when South Africa were declared winners by a walkover when which country refused to play them? That's Michael.
India.
Was India? Yeah.
Oh.
Good answer.
Magic darts.
Question 13. The 2019 Cricket World Cup final saw both Mark Wood and Adil Rashid run out and dismissed without facing the delivery for Diamond Ducks. What would it have been called had they been an opening batsman? Bean?
Golden Diamond Duck.
No. Steve?
Double down duck.
No. Simon?
Spatchcock's diving duck.
Sadly not. No. Dave?
Is that a ruby duck?
No. Brendan?
Platinum Duck.
No.
No.
That's Michael.
A platinum diamond duck.
No.
Platinum down and double duck.
Double platinum diamond duck.
It's like a sofa advert.
Spam, 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 spam. Go on.
No. It's a titanium duck. It would have been a royal duck if it was the first delivery, but without facing one, it's a titanium duck.
There's a list of run to go to.
Oh, I'm watching cricket all night.
Hey, you still here, Gav?
Question 14. This boxer held world championships in 4 different weight classes and is ranked 28th on Rings magazine's list of the greatest punchers of all time. He also became the second boxer after Jack Johnson to have competed over a span of 5 decades. His 70 wins by knockout place him in an exclusive group of boxers who've won 50 or more fights by knockout. Who is this boxer who, after the fight billed as the Brawl in Montreal, became the first boxer to defeat Sugar Ray Leonard? It's Michael.
Duran.
It is, yeah. We go to Dran. Steve and Dave.
Magic darts.
That was nowhere near Durand though.
Reset.
Reset.
So we've got question 15. 2 answers required. We'll see how long this goes. One of the most controversial Formula One races in modern history was the 2005 US Grand Prix in Indianapolis. Following several tyre failures before the race, Michelin advised its 7 customer teams without reduction in speed at turn 3.
Ferrari and Minardi.
Sadly not.
Okay.
Without reduction,
Oh, thank you.
No.
Without reduction in speed at turn 13, the tyres would only be safe for 10 laps, and at the time no tyre changes were allowed. So after the formation lap, all 7 teams running Michelin tyres returned to the pits, leaving just the 6 cars from the 3 Bridgestone teams to complete the race. These were Ferrari, and which 2 other teams? That's Steve.
Force India.
Well anticipated.
Oh, I knew you were on it.
Force India for one. And Minardi for the second.
No. Bean?
BAR and Jordan.
No. Michael?
Williams and Minardi.
No. Lee?
Jordan and Minardi.
Correct.
Yeah.
Combination.
You know the women are in.
Lee, how many of those have you got today now? That's 4 at least. Alex.
Sorry.
Again, 2 answers required. Rugby League. In 2015, alongside Wigan, which 2 other English clubs competed in the first World Club Series? It's been?
Hull City and St Helens.
No. Steve?
Hull City and Warrington.
No. That's Lee?
Warrington and Leeds.
No.
What?
Michael?
Can't believe you don't got that.
Helens.
No. Dave?
St Helens and Warrington.
Correct.
Pick them up.
Dave, you got Dave?
Yeah, I was close. I can't say Alex or other. Dave, where are you?
Who said Hull City then? Several
Red
of you.
2
Yeah.
You
teams.
don't actually play rugby league at
Well,
all.
I've seen.
FC.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay,
Not Hull City.
I was going for kind of Red Bull.
Question 17. I've been to many quizzes over the years with the year 2000 world champion in this event. Inaugurated in 1965 and taking place each year on the second Sunday in October. That's Lee.
Conkers.
World Conquer Championships. Yeah.
Get in there, Lee.
Michael speaks.
That's the first proper answer you've got today.
Question 18. Which Grand National winning horse is named after a lighthouse? Steve?
Minnehola.
No. Tony?
Corbière.
Corbière? Yeah.
Who was that? Tony.
The prodigal son
Yeah, I
returns.
think you think of that.
I don't mind you getting them, Tony. I like you.
Question 19. This could have been a question I set in the last LightSpeed quiz I did in Manchester, actually. Formed in 1998, but forced to disband in 2001, which was the first British team to ride the Giro d'Italia?
Linda McCartney.
Linda McCartney, yeah. Where were you, Steve? Linda McCartney Racing.
Michael
Forced all the
Magic
cyclists to become
dots.
vegans who were on the team. Just needed Forest Green Rovers and 2 more for the
Yeah.
Connect set.
And last,
I'm lost as well. I don't know what the stuff is.
last question. American football. In which city in 1936 did the Rams franchise start? It's been.
Los Angeles.
No. That's Dave.
St Louis.
No. Steve.
New York.
No. Gavin.
I was going to say St Louis.
No.
Name a US city, Gabby. Come on,
Michael.
you can do it. Quickly. Now!
San Diego.
No. Michael.
Boston.
No. Brendan.
Minneapolis.
No. Tony.
Indianapolis.
No. Simon.
Ooh, somewhere up in the northeast. Cincinnati.
No. Vince.
Baltimore.
Lee.
Phoenix.
Alex.
Chicago.
No.
I thought she'd get Chicago was a good guess. Yeah.
Everybody.
No. Cleveland.
Oh, come on.
I know it was something ridiculously far east.
They all started over there.
Is that the end of the...
That's the end of the round.
Okay, well, basically, then I'm sitting after a minute. Can I read your scores out, please? Only Simon Chilton on negs, which is good for the 2 front runners who are Michael, you got 4, Dave Bill got 6. You need to call back more than 2 around.
I'll try that. I'll try it for you.
If you're watch the cricket, you're on a run chase
Behind
at
the
the
run,
moment.
behind the neck.
Basically, the average score, the total score of each of these rounds is, I think, 5 or 6. So divided evenly between us. Do you think that's about right this evening? Good luck. We've got 2 more rounds coming up. Well, no, we've got Froth coming up.
Froth and 2 more.
Yeah, just Froth. Just
Yeah.
let it roll. Is that work? Go.
Yeah. So question 1. The Manchester International Festival has been taking place throughout July. bringing together artists and performers from all over the world to celebrate the best of creative arts. The first event took place on the 4th of July in Cathedral Gardens with Bells for Peace by which artist? Steve?
Even Glenner.
No. Michael? It's Dave?
Damon Albarn.
No. Bean?
Trisian.
No. Simon?
Ariana Grande?
No.
Daft answer. Not a daft answer. Go
No,
on.
I'll give up.
The only daft answer is no answer.
Recall in Manchester, it was Yoko Ono.
Oh,
Set. Question 2. Sure you all know this anyway, but in 2013 the government issued the Code of Practice on noise from ice cream vans in England, and you'll be aware of section 2.1 that confirms it's an offence for ice cream vans to sound their chimes before 12 and after 7 p.m. However, section 5.1 states they should also not play their chimes for more than how many seconds? Steve?
8 or 12? 8.
Incorrect.
15.
Wrong. Dave?
10.
Michael?
30.
Simon?
12.
Correct.
I knew there was going to be asking questions, so there's some heavy revision on that.
Good man, Simon.
Question 3.
I can't believe you didn't go 12, man.
I thought you'd go to it. Born in Northampton, this man first followed his father's footsteps and joined the police force as a cadet and was there for 2 years. He then helped to found the magazine Time Out. With 8 children by 4 partners, he has worked for radio stations in Oxford, Norwich. Dave?
That's Whispering... What's his face? Bob Harris.
It is Whispering Bob Harris, yeah. And now
Very
he's
nice.
taking a break from the radio.
Genius.
Okay, question 4. In October 2017, Mike Edgett of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, was sent a painting and 52 gift cards of $5 each by this company after he discovered that the official Twitter account of which company only follows 11 people. Bean.
KFC.
Yes, KFC. Only follows 5 Spice Girls and 6 random guys named Herb.
They're all quite famous, the Herbs.
Correct.
Chris Bean, 2 points.
Deal.
Question 5. Held this month for the 24th consecutive year, after preliminary competitions held in the USA, Australia, Poland and Britain, what World Championship was won?
Speedway.
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Where are we? What World Championship was won for the 2nd year running by the Lithuanians by Dave?
World's Strongest Man.
No, unfortunately not.
Red 2.
Alex?
Basketball.
No, unfortunately not. No.
Unlucky.
One for the 2nd year running by the Lithuanians by Tautas Kurtlauskas. That's been.
Wife carrying championships.
Is where wife carrying championships.
I was just thinking.
Correct.
Yeah.
Chris Bean.
They win the wife. They win the wife's weighting beer.
You'll be disappointed. about
Wife
that.
rating BS.
Yeah. Question 6. Conceived after a one-night stand, after he left his boots outside his hotel room door to signify the correct room, and now married to Tristan Tricky Wade in 1984, Felicity Tonkin, also known as Bunny, was conceived in an Auckland townhouse hotel. From the result...
Boris Becker.
No. Unfortunately not, no.
That's a different cover, David.
From...
Oh, no, you didn't.
From the result of DNA testing during a paternity suit in 1991, paving the way for a reported £350,000 settlement, she was confirmed as whose love child? That's Michael.
Boris Johnson.
No. No. Good guess. Brendan?
Donald Trump.
No. Simon?
Mick Jagger.
No. Bean?
Michael Hutchins.
No. That it? All done. Yeah, that's Mark Phillips.
Oh.
Question 7. In July this month, beating 4 other finalists from across the UK to the title Museum of the Year award, you'll find the open-air attraction St Fagin's National Museum of History in which city?
Cardiff.
Is Cardiff? Yeah, well done.
Very confident. That was the most confident answer of the day.
Driven past it 1,000 times.
Question 8. Funny enough, born in Northampton. Which actress was at the Château du Martinet in Carpentras in the south of France in the last month repeating her marriage vows after being married in June to an Elvis impersonator in Las Vegas on the exact date of Elvis's 52nd wedding anniversary to Priscilla. She starred in both Game of Thrones and X-Men.
Sophie Turner.
This is Sophie Turner. Yeah. Dave just blind.
George Orlis.
Yeah. Question
Magic
9.
dots.
Which football club won the League Cup in 1986? Were briefly managed. Brendan.
Oxford United.
Incorrect.
Oh,
Lee.
Sunderland.
Hard lines.
Incorrect.
Lines
Tony?
not fair.
QPR.
Incorrect.
hang on a minute. Lee.
Bullshit.
Who else? Tony.
Yeah.
Not in any universe.
It's going to be Scottish, isn't it?
Which football club who won the League Cup in 1986 were briefly managed by Alf Ramsey and served by Jeff Boycott as chairman, with a lineup that included Bob Wilson, Emily Hughes, Simon? Melchester Rovers. Yeah. Emily Hughes. Yeah. Martin Kemp and Steve.
Racist
Best question of the minute.
Also included Martin Kemp and Steve Norman from Spandau Ballet.
Billy the Fish team.
The Norfolk Cheshire.
Question 10. To my bafflement, this event this year included extreme American wrestling and took place for the 52nd year running between the 12th and the 14th of July this month in Corby, the biggest such event outside Scotland, which also featured pipe bands and dancing. So, Simon?
Highland Games.
Yeah, Highland Games, Highland Gathering. American wrestling.
Good man,
Highland
Simon.
Games.
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Okay, question 11. According to Michael Lewis's book, The Fifth Risk, which is about Donald Trump, following his election in 2016, he received many congratulatory phone calls from world leaders. When speaking to one country's leader in particular, which 1980s US #1 single and UK #3 single did he spend most of his time enthusing about, which name-checked the leader's nationality? That's Michael.
French kissing in the USA.
Simon?
Big in Japan.
No. Dean?
Turning Japanese?
No. Last orders?
Yeah.
No, nobody know? That's Brendan.
Warlock and Egyptian, that was 88.
Well, if you want to stick with that, you can have it.
Was
It says war like an Egyptian.
Oh.
Yeah. Imagine to the Egyptian president, you know, with the bone walls.
I just can't get over how hot you are.
League Cup.
Please listen out for your little signatures because you never
Okay.
know now.
Question 12. Which is the only British politician to have won an Olympic medal and a Nobel Prize? Dave?
Rings Campbell.
No. That's Vince.
I was going to say Seb Coe.
No. That's Bean.
Nope, that's about your answers out.
No. Steve?
Hold on, no.
No. Lee?
Spock.
No. Simon?
Sanger.
No. No. All done?
Yeah.
He won the 1500 metre silver medal in 1920, the Nobel Peace Prize in 1959. Philip Noel Baker.
That is such a good question, it really is. I'm being patronising as well, but it is a really good question.
Okay. Question 13. The proceeds of the first crime amounted to £7 10 shillings and usually involved transportation by way of tea chests, although when too small a herring barrel was used. The remuneration for the crimes depended on the season, £8 during the warmer months of summer and £10 during the winter months when demand was greater. It is not known what Brendan Curtis earns for his similar nefarious activities, but who were they? Michael.
Birkenhead.
Magic dots.
Question 14. English actor Alan Napier, who started his career in the 1920s, became best known for playing Batman's butler, Alfred, in the 1960s TV series. His second wife was the great-granddaughter of novelist Charles Dickens, and he is also a first cousin once removed from which British Prime Minister? Steve?
Balfour.
No.
Lee, this is yours.
Dean?
Disraeli?
No. Michael?
Churchill.
No. Dave?
Asquith.
No. Simon?
We're also for Asquith. Baldwin.
No. Tony?
Eden.
No. Lee?
Campbell Bannerman.
Yeah. Brendan,
Ramsay McDonald.
Gavin,
Chamberlain.
correct.
Hey, welcome to the ship. Welcome, Gavin. Well, hang on this. There you are.
What was you on soundbite?
Hey? I've just well done, Gav.
Okay. First time I've heard it, you see.
Yeah.
Question 15. This man was the biggest individual loser ever on the New York Stock Exchange when his company shares dropped $450 million in a single day in 1970. But in 2016, he was named the 167th richest man in the USA. He organised the escape of 2 of his employees from Iran after the revolution, as told in the Ken Follett book and the TV miniseries. In 1984, he bought a copy of Magna Carta, one of the few to leave the UK. After missing out on Bill Gates' Microsoft, he invested $20 million with Steve Jobs' next company. In 1992, a poll saw him lead in the presidential race, finding Dave?
Ross Perot.
Ross Perot. He died this month. Yeah.
Get in, Dave.
Red Tooth Genius.
16. The producer and theatre owner, Sir Cameron McIntosh, said this month he plans to rename the Queen's Theatre, the home of Les Mis. It means who will be the only living artist to have a theatre named in his honour, both in London.
John Bestman's fucking dead. Sorry, badly.
No.
That's 2 I've got to pay.
Okay. It means who will be the only living artist to have a theatre named in his honour, both in London and on Broadway, where the Henry Miller Theatre was also renamed after him in 2010. Dave?
Gielgud. Not living.
No. Michael?
No, it's gone.
Simon?
Richardson.
No. No.
Prince Charles?
No. Sondheim.
Yeah.
We called the Sondheim Theatre. Question 17. Daniel Agger, 2005. Jersey Dudek and Peter Crouch, 2006. Dirk Kuyt, Stephen Gerrard and Pepper Rainier, 2007. Robbie Keane and Jermaine Pennant, 2008. Lucas Lever, 2009. Peter Crouch, 2011. Robert Firmino, 2016. Dejan Lovren and Sadio Mane, 2017. Ian Rush, 2019. What's the connection? Simon?
Elected to Liverpool's Hall of Fame.
No. Steve?
Elected to the respective country's Hall of Fame.
No. Oh, Bean with the last one.
Champions League final goals.
No. Bear in mind, it is in the crime section. All their houses were burgled while they were on duty with Liverpool.
No, there's nothing transferred.
Okay. Obviously, Ian Rush was at the Champions League final. 18. Business news this month. By paying $242 million to buy Legal & General and acquiring a 51% stake of LV for $578 million, which company is set to become the second largest general insurer in Britain? Steve?
Aviva.
No, I think that's top. Michael?
Legal and General.
No. Bean?
Direct line.
No. Tony?
AXA.
No. Lee?
Aegon.
What was it?
Aegon.
No. Vince?
Norwich.
No. Steve?
Churchill.
No. Simon?
Scottish Widows.
No. Brendan?
AIG.
No. All done? It's Alliance with a Z. Question 19. Born in Northampton, he started out composing music for documentaries and theatre and wrote and starred in the musical Pop and released a CD titled Sit with his band Timmy the Dog. He decided to get the comedy stuff off his chest before getting back into serious music, and his breakout show was Dark Side in 2005. After achieving critical success, he received the Edinburgh Festival Fringe Perrier Award for the Best Newcomer. He's also appeared in various film and stage productions, including playing Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar and Fry Tuck in Robin Hood. Who is this man who's written the musicals Groundhog Day and the Olivia...
Minchin.
It is Tim Minchin. Yeah.
Born in Northampton.
Born in Northampton, Australian parents.
Ah. That's
Moved
what,
back to
all
Australia.
the time thinking it's Tim
Tim Minchin. Tim Minchin like the
Yeah.
Gabby, yes.
Born in Northampton.
Groundhog Day.
And Matilda the musical.
Yeah.
And the last question.
Jolly good.
In 1981, who suffered a near fatal attack, almost costing him his innards, and 5 broken ribs when he was attacked by his ostrich Waldo, causing his re-addiction to painkillers? That's Dave.
Ozzy Osbourne.
No. That's Bean.
Michael Jackson.
No. In the right field. Vince.
I was going to say the Marcus Sabath.
No. Steve.
Prince.
No. Simon.
Rod Hull.
We are all thinking it.
Michael.
Lionel Richie.
No.
Go on.
All done? Oh, Brendan.
Screaming Lord Sutch.
No. Johnny Cash. His pet ostrich roller. Okay, and that's it.
Brilliant, thank you. And the winner of that particular round, unbelievably, Michael Patton, you get a good comeback because you got about that week, you got 4. Dave Bill, you were in front of Michael. Chris Bean got 4. Simon Chilton got 5.